Hi there, this is a quick walkthrough of the LVM Track platform. What you're looking at here is all of the vehicles that you have in your fleet. There's a list and vehicles are in a group. Under the group, it'll tell you how many vehicles exist inside that group. And then of course, it will list them one by one. When you hover over a vehicle in your list, it will automatically give you a lot of really important information. For instance, it'll tell you when we last heard from the device. That was 3 hours and 48 minutes ago. This unit is parked right now. And then of course you get the actual day and time stamp right here. You get the image of the vehicle, which has been uploaded from a JPEG image. You also see the address where the vehicle is and all of the geofences that the vehicle is inside right now. A vehicle can be in one or multiple or no geofences, but if they are inside of a geofence, you're going to see all that information there. Then lastly, if the vehicle is moving, you would see the current speed. You see the odometer of the vehicle, the engine hours that have been recorded, as well as the actual longitude, latitude. So lots of information at your fingertips. Then we get into sensor values. So this particular device is a plug and play OBD2 device, which can read engine data. So what you're looking at here is the actual fuel percent inside the vehicle and the fuel level in liters. If the vehicle was running right now, we would see the ignition on. And then of course, we would see engine RPM, coolant temperature, and any other relevant data that we would pull off of the engine. Okay. At the very bottom, we see the vehicle profile. So the VIN number, the brand, the make, the model of the year, the engine type, all kinds of stuff there. We actually have a VIN lookup tool. So when you put a VIN number into our system, we will actually pull in all of this information so you don't have to manually enter it. Lastly, this vehicle has a driver assigned. If a vehicle does have a driver assigned, you can see either a little image or a little green steering wheel beside the vehicle. And then of course you can upload a picture of the driver. This is me, by the way, that's a picture of me. So you can see the driver. And of course you can see all kinds of relevant information like the driver's cell phone number, what vehicle they're driving, their driver's license, the class of driver's license they have, any sort of information that you may want to store for drivers. There are multiple ways that we can pair a driver to a vehicle. One is you can go into the drivers tab and simply pick a driver and manually pair them. So this would be, you typically don't really change drivers all that often in your fleet. That might only happen once or twice a year. And so you can just manually pair a driver to a vehicle. That gives you the ability to run reports and driver behavior reports on an actual driver, not on a vehicle. Again, this is an optional add-on module for the system, but that being said, it is available and it's a nice to have. A lot of our customers also use key fobs, either a Bluetooth key fob that they just keep in their wallet, and a Bluetooth enabled device can automatically pair to a Bluetooth key fob. And then of course, we do also support Dallas key fobs, which are wired key fobs. The driver would just fob in, and we can of course have a device buzz until the driver fobs in. And that way, by trip, we can pair a driver to the vehicle. So you can see always who the driver was in reports, and then of course, target drivers in reports as well. We also have a dashboard. A dashboard is a quick overview that shows you what your status is right now. These are all sales reps. They're all at home or at the office. So nobody's on the road right now, but they will be in about 30 or 35 minutes. And you'll see which ones are online, means that the engine started, and which ones are offline, meaning the engine's not running. And then from there, we have different statuses as well. You can see, you get to see geofences that have units inside them. Units are vehicles or assets. And so you can see in the Ontario geofence, we have 16 and 13 in the install radius and so on and so forth. It's a great way to do yard inventory or even see what customers your drivers are at right now. You have the ability to customize this and run a month-long or multiple months of data. And it's sort of like, you know, really nice data at your fingertips without having to run a report. We show you mileage by vehicle here. This is month-long mileage, by the way. And then of course, fuel consumed by vehicle. If we're reading fuel data, we do show you this data. So 192 liters consumed in the last month, by the Honda CR-V for 2,231 kilometers. From there, we show you the top units that have consumed fuel, and then of course, top mileage on vehicles as well. So this is a great snapshot of your fleet without having to dig deeper and run reports. We also have some quick things that you can do. For instance, if you want to see where a vehicle traveled today, you can do this. It's called a quick track. If you hover over this little flag here, it'll say quick track, and that's like a breadcrumb trail. So if I click on it, I'm going to see for this Ford Fusion, their trip today. You can see they started out in Barrie, and you see arrows on the map to show you directionality of travel. There's a couple of cool little icons here. We show you where they were parked and how long they were parked for. We show you where they were stopped. This is like stopping at a stoplight or a temporary stop that's under 5 minutes. So they stopped to get gas or sorry, coffee, let's say, but they didn't turn their engine off. This here is an actual fuel filling because we do a lot of engine data with OBD2 or JBus devices. This particular sales rep today on their drive in to the office stopped at this address and put 52 liters of fuel in the tank. So we can see all that with just one button, one click of a button. Of course, if there are any speeding events, they show up here as well. So here he is at 8:36 this morning, going down the 400, doing 127, so it's 27 over the speed limit. So we show you the posted speed limit, and we show you how far it was exceeded by. And then lastly, we also show you the address and how long that speeding event took place. This one took place for 12 minutes. As we start to come down the 400, we see a few more speeding events. This guy's got a heavy foot. And then of course, this one is also 20 over for 3 minutes, 27 over. And this one is 25 over for 3 minutes. So you get to see all of that really, really important data just with one click of a button. That was just clicking this track. If I click it again, it goes away. The other neat thing is we have lots of layers. So let's say I have this track because I want to see my driver's route today, but I don't want to see other things on the map. I can click this little eye icon on the map and I can turn things off. So I can actually turn the vehicles off, and geofences were off, but I can turn them on and then off again. So I'm going to turn geofences off. So now the only thing I'm looking at right now is that actual track. All the vehicles are still there. They're just not on the map right now. And this is a way that you can easily declutter the map just to keep focused on what you're looking at right now. So again, I can turn vehicles back on so you can see the different vehicles on the map. The other thing, when you hover over a vehicle on the map, it does the exact same thing. It gives you all the sensor data, the address, the odometer, the engine hours, when it last reported in, and any relevant sensor data as well. So that's a quick thing just by clicking on a vehicle or hovering over it with your mouse on the map. Now, when we do look at tracks, there is a dedicated tab for it. So if we go over to the tracks tab, what we can look at is all the vehicles that we're allowed to see. We can segment vehicles by fleet, of course. So if I wanted to pick on the Toyota Camry, because she actually got stopped for speeding today, and if I want the color to be by speed for today, I can look at her trips and see that there's more than one trip here. So I'm actually going to turn off the whole thing and I'll turn on her main trip today. And then we can see for that trip where the different speeding events happened. And of course, when it's red, you can see here, that she was traveling at 131 kilometers per hour, right? So that heat map is really nice for trips, for vehicles, to show you how fast vehicles were going without you even really needing to go click on data and look. Of course, we have those same flags there, which shows you speeding events. So here's a 31 over for 31 seconds. So a lot of details at your fingertips without you even having to have run a report. We haven't even run a report yet. This is just us looking at data and managing our fleet in real time. Now this track is here and it's a layer on the map, which I showed you before, but we can also take it off the map just by unchecking it right here. So that track can still sit there in my list. And I can see the mileage for all of her trips today. I can play back the trips. I can turn them into geofences. There's a lot of really neat options here. And the playback feature is great because it shows you speed by event, you can control the playback speed. This is at 100 times. I can slow that down to maybe 50 times. And of course, you can see the whole trip and a playback of that trip, right? I'm just going to X that out. We can also take a trip and turn it into a geofence, which is really neat. And then, of course, we can assign trips to vehicles. So if I want to save this trip as a geofence, it's very simple. I click one button, and then I just have to put it, name the geofence. So it could be, you know, Camry morning route. And there we go. I've saved that geofence as a route. If I want to take the track off, I can just remove it by killing it. Or I can, of course, put it back and just uncheck it and it's still there. So now if I want to go look at a different vehicle's trips for today, so the Volvo, this is my vehicle, and let's look at today's trip for the Volvo. Now, the Volvo trip is on the map, but the Camry's trip is not on the map. It's still there. I can turn it on. The neat thing about that too is I can see intersection of travel for all of my vehicles and make sure that I'm really optimizing how the vehicles move around. And that's a very simple thing. You can also see that we automatically put different colors for every trip that we put on the map so that it doesn't confuse it for you. So you can see how fast I was speeding this morning. I don't have a heavy foot. Okay, maybe I do a little bit. I was doing 28 over right here. Typically I only do about 124 or so, just try and stay under the radar. But there we go. There's my trip driving into work this morning. So I'm just going to uncheck those and leave them in my work list here. And I'm going to go back to the monitoring panel. The other thing I want to show you is search. So search is powerful. Say you've got a fleet of 100 vehicles, 400 vehicles, 50 vehicles, and you're going to have to go through and search for vehicles if you're looking for information for those vehicles. What you can do here is just search. So you can search by the truck number, you can search by the truck name, whatever that may be. I searched for Volvo, and you can see now the only thing I see is the Volvo. And I can just exit out and it's gone. Now we can do that on the map as well. So I want to see where the Volvo is on the map right now. So I just type in Volvo, Volvo tractor shows up, and there we go. The map centers automatically and zooms in onto that vehicle. Of course, I hovered over it so I can look at all the sensor data. And this device actually just sent data in 46 seconds ago. So you can see that's coming in real time. So there's all the relevant data of this vehicle. If I move my mouse away, it's gone. Now, if I zoom out a little bit, I just want to show you that we have multiple maps in our system as well. So here, let's look at the GTA. If you look at this little icon below the eye, that's maps, and you can change the map. We're one of the only systems out there where we have multiple map options available. So this is one we call WebGIS. We have OpenStreetMap. So a different look and feel. You get to customize how the map looks for you. If I zoom in a little bit here, you can see, you know, the colors and the granularity. It looks very nice. There's a lot of neat details. I can see where all the buildings are, the roads. It's great map data. But, you know, for some people, when you zoom out on the GTA, it looks maybe a little busy. So for your preference, maybe use the Bing map. Which is provided by Microsoft. And if I want traffic, I can turn Bing traffic on. There we go. I can see all the traffic in the GTA. And of course, COVID, where's the only place that there's traffic in the GTA? Right around the 401 approaching the 400. That's always a slowdown. And then of course, Don Valley Parkway. That's never clear. So there we go. There's our traffic in the GTA right now. You can see how that does get a little busy. So that's a layer you just turn on and off. Lastly, you can search for addresses. So our office, 1788 Drew Road, Mississauga. So I need to find something. I'm just going to search it here. If I can figure out how to spell it, there we go. And it'll put a little marker on the map. And of course, it'll center the map there as well. So a great dispatch tool as well. For today's session, I really wanted this to be a quick walkthrough to show you the application, show you a couple of quick features, and how you can very easily interface with our system in 10 minutes or less. So that's it for today's session. Hope to see you again soon.